9 is sponsored by your Washington area Toyota dealers.
We are on the brink of peak bloom out here at the tidal basin, looking like we're probably going to get peak bloom tomorrow when 70% of the cherry trees around the tidal basin are officially in peak bloom. And if we do hit it tomorrow, that is exactly when the National Park Service forecasted we would see peak bloom back in February. Now, it turns out that predicting peak bloom is actually a lot like predicting the weather. There are a lot of factors that go into that forecast and a lot of variables that can change it. But unlike the National Park Service, we don't have a tree helping us out.
There is one particular Yoshino tree that tends to run about 2 weeks or 10 days in advance of the rest of the trees around the tidal basin.
It's called the indicator tree, and for good reason.
It does give us a reliable indicator every year of where the rest of the trees are likely to fall in the bloom cycle.
But it takes a lot more than a tree to predict peak bloom.
We're looking at the historic record. What's happened in the last several years, 10 years going back. But we're also, of course, looking at the near and long range forecast. If we're expecting a warming trend over the next month, that's probably going to influence us to call a little bit earlier. If we're expecting average or even colder temperatures, that's obviously going to push it back a little farther.
And warming global temperatures have been undeniably pushing peak bloom earlier and earlier.
Over the last 10 years or so, probably even a little bit longer, we are seeing the trend almost every year with peak bloom coming earlier than that average date of April 3rd or April 4th. We had a much colder winter this year than we had last year. Had a couple of those really deep freezes that lasted for a few days. So overall, we're looking at a colder winter, and of course, colder temperatures keep those blossoms and those blooms in their buds for a little bit longer. Trees definitely hit winter dormancy this year, gave us a firm place to start counting the heating degree days that help us predict when the trees will be out. So hopefully looking forward to a little bit more reliable prognostication this year.
Now, Mike told me earlier that so far about 40% of those beautiful Yoshino cherry trees are in peak bloom. The blossoms just gorgeous. Now, the crowds really aren't too bad today, but you can bet it's going to get a little crazy here over the weekend. So just remember, try and come earlier in the morning if you can. You'll get less crowds, and take public transportation. It is really hard to find parking around here. But today, gorgeous day to be out at the tidal basin. But I do want to send things over to Topper because we've got warmer weather coming this weekend, just some more clouds that will be along with it.